How's everyone feeling? Looking good from here. So thanks for making this possible. I'm really glad to see all of you here and to be able to talk a little less formally, a little less politically, and really focus on creativity, what it has meant in my life and what it means to us going forward. So, did I hit the wrong button? Okay, so this is where we live. This is our planet. We're really lucky to be here, and we should never forget that. And in these times, we're facing all kinds of challenges that could never have been imagined. We've been through lots before. Our ancestors have come through extraordinary challenges over and over and over. But what we face now, from climate change and Hurricane Sandy to this is an epic scale pothole in Vancouver. And mayors have to pay attention to potholes. But this is all connected. The change that we're facing around the world right now is off the charts. And the only way that we're going to be able to deal with it, the only way we have generations and generations to come who can live and thrive and create amazing things on this planet is if we take care of business here. And there are a lot of ways to do that, and applying creativity has to be at the core to solving these problems that we have. And they can be all kinds of forms. It can be social entrepreneurship, it can be design for social and environmental change, it can be grassroots democracy. I'm going to talk a bunch about politics and government because that's what I do with every fiber of my being right now. Politics is our most direct way to create change. It's the mechanism that we have designed as animals to make change and govern our community, but very few of us really get involved in it directly. Just to get a sense of that, how many people in this room and watching are directly involved in politics? Would say your life is full of politics. Hands up. Okay, a very small number of hands. How many of you can imagine politics becoming a big part of your life? You talk to Lara or Stepan over there. Really, it's all about who shows up for it. How many would say that politics is a creative realm?
Right here.
Okay. Well, there was some hesitation there, but good to see hands up. I'm going to come back around to that because I'm hoping I can influence more hands going up about creativity in politics and government, that those things actually work really well together, and they have to work really well together for us to succeed, for us to ultimately make what we want to happen on this planet. So I'm going to just tell some stories because we're going from today, the city of destiny in Vancouver here, but my story goes back to being a kid growing up here. I kind of was back and forth between here. I lived a few years in San Francisco growing up. I never, ever imagined I would be in politics as a kid, and as an adult, most of my adult life as well. I was inquisitive and curious and creative, but my focus was really on music growing up. This was my first drum set, and it was a piece of trash, but it got me through. And this is my band, my first band. I took the picture. So I figured I'd just bring a bunch of pictures and to illustrate my path through all this stuff. We did a lot of Kiss covers, really into Kiss, and a little bit of Leonard Skinner on the side. Freebird was always our closer. So once I had grown up and basically in the confines of North America, I was so curious to travel and see the rest of the world. My first trip away from North America was to Asia, and partly to see what my ancestor, my relative, Dr. Norman Bethany from Canada, had done there, because I grew up kind of, no one else in Canada knew who he was until more recently, but in our family it was a big deal. So I was intrigued with what was happening there, and in China particularly, a couple decades ago, it was all about bicycles. Everybody rode bicycles. It was a stunning sight to see an entire country riding bicycles everywhere. That's changed dramatically, but I rode one of the first bike tours in 1986 when they opened the borders in China and got to got to ride all over in northern China, primarily Beijing to Shanghai, and it was a real eye-opener for me. I really wanted to keep traveling. My sweetheart and I, Amy, we ended up fixing up this boat. It looked like a piece of junk when we got it. We spent a year and a half. We fixed it up, put her back in the water, and we went sailing across the Pacific for about a year and a half as well. And what really drew us from place to place was food. I mean, literally having to survive on the ocean. Catching fish, and every island you got to was, so you didn't get scurvy, you had to find fruit. But discovering the cultures and the importance of food, and particularly on small islands in the middle of the Pacific, they pay a lot of attention to food. So this was a bit of a fantasy life too, to experience the open ocean. We did not have GPS in those days. It was old school. So finding your way was a really important piece of it. And it was a metaphor that has become important throughout the rest of my life. Always knowing roughly where you are and knowing where you're going. Literally, that was the only way I survived for that period of time. I think it's enormously important, just guiding us through life, that we have some sense of navigation and placing ourselves in the bigger scheme of things. So I came back from sailing. Amy and I came back here and decided to dive into the food industry, food system, understand it better, become farmers. There weren't a lot of people our age becoming farmers at the time, so it was a creative approach to building a new career and figuring out how food works here close to at home. So we had organic farming at the roots of it. We had to be really creative and innovative in everything that we did to compete, because making a living in farming is very difficult. It's still difficult, even with the farmers markets and all the rest of it. You have to specialize in certain crops. You have to do something different. You have to market very directly. That you do make mistakes. This is an enormous bok choy harvest that we did not manage to sell all of, because bok choy wasn't the most popular thing in the world. But we did make a fortune selling artichokes back in the day. Turns out we were the only growers of artichokes for a while there. So, but that was how it was. And the impact of what we did, I decided, needed to be scaled. And I saw lots of great growers. I didn't see that food connecting in the city as well. So Amy was actually starting farmers markets. I started Happy Planet with a friend named Randy Ias. And this is actually our first juice truck. Shortly after it was totaled, doing a juice delivery. We hung on to it in our parking lot for a little while because we were attached to it. But we had to be very creative as a juice company. Creative Juices was actually the first name of our company. And then Happy Planet came to mind, and Happy Planet took over as the name. It is a much better name. But Creative Juices was what we were all about. The only way to compete with the Coke and Pepsis of this world, the only way to compete in the food industry is to be really creative and hustle. And that's what we had to do, building our business up across Canada.